Welcome, guys, to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. And I'm the boss, Q the boss, along my co-host. We'll let her introduce herself, though.
Pixi Mars. You can call me Mars for short. Pixi, obviously, because I got the Pixi. Mars, because I can't be measured. Okay?
I like that.
You like my new name?
I like that. I like the name. I like the name. Listen,
I like to reinvent myself.
Listen, we here. So look, everyone's been asking us to do a podcast together. So we say, you know what? Let's make it make sense. And we finally making it make sense. We got some dope content for you guys. You know, I'm gonna let her talk about a little bit, then I'm gonna go into a little bit, and we gonna ping pong off each other and tell you some of the ideas we got coming up.
So basically, I want this podcast, it's up to the people, but we want this podcast to be real.
Yes.
You know, we want it to be real. We want it to give you guys a lot of content where, you know, our opinion, your opinions, you could actually write in and we can go over some of our point of views, you know, a male and a female perspective on things.
Agree.
And people, how many times have these people been asking you to make a podcast?
Man, I've been asked at least, no exaggerating, I would say, I can't even say a number. You know, what really solidified it for me the other day is the mall story. You know, when I was in the mall, a lot of people running up to me like, yo, I follow your content. You know, I'm astonished at your words. And I'm like, it's dope, but I felt like I needed a woman to balance it. I didn't want to come too masculine, but I can't ultimately be too feminine either. But I think the balance, I said, let me get a good balance. And, you know, Mars is very, she's a strong woman. She going to speak her mind. And she ain't going to stand with everything I say if she don't agree.
No, I don't.
You know?
Right.
So the content I'm definitely, we're bringing this year, we're going to definitely talk about, there's one I really want to talk about. Could you stay in a relationship if the intimacy is no good? That's a very strong topic I want to talk about. Because one of my homegirls actually gave me this topic. She said, you know, if I'm in a relationship with a guy, but he's not satisfying me, should I stay? And I'm curious to how many people would stay. You know?
I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, listen, your homegirl asked you that question, but a lot of females stay and they just be faking it. That's the bigger issue. Like,
I heard that.
You know, a lot of them stay and they just endure it, but, you know, they're not happy.
You know, but, you know, toleration is not a healthy relationship. Being tolerable, of course, is not a healthy relationship. And more people I see in today's society are more tolerable. You know, I wouldn't want to be tolerable. I want to be happy. You know?
It's true. It's true. But a lot of men, you know, they have, you know, their egos are big. They think that they're actually doing something and sometimes they're not. And the women just, you know, they're content with that. Let's just be real. They are.
No, I could agree with that statement.
You know, there's a lot of women that don't reach their peak a lot of times. And the men, that's another topic.
But here's my question though. With the communication between the two of them, do they communicate? Do she explain this to him, or do she diss him when she's upset? You know, that's where ego get touched if a person brings it up when...
Men have fragile egos.
We do.
Okay?
We do. We're very prideful.
Yes.
You know, I'm very proud and prideful, you know, but I can also be, I can compromise, and I definitely can...
all men can't take it.
I agree. But this is what we're going to do on this show. See, I'm representing for the men, you know?
And I'm representing for the ladies.
So what I'm going to go at is, at the end of the day, I want y'all to know, we're going to tell the truth. And I'm not compromising to what a man is. I'm going straight on the record and letting you know what a man is. Whether you agree or disagree, that's entirely up to you. Like she said before, if your little ego and your pride get touched along this podcast, that's entirely up to you. Because I'm not here for that. I'm here to tell the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
No.
You know?
But, you know, even though, let's let it be said, even though you're a male, I'm a female, I see things from a female perspective, you see things from a male perspective, but you don't always have to agree, you know, totally with the men. I know a lot of the times you keep it real.
Yes.
Because even in the shop,
yes.
If a male comes in there and they're, you know, either chauvinistic or they're going too hard on the modern day woman and women, all they want to do is their first date has to be courtside and all of that stuff. You didn't agree with him.
I didn't agree with him.
And that's how we came. That's how we kind of like came here to this podcast.
Agreed. We got a test run.
The shop, that's where it all kind of like started.
You get your content.
Yeah. And you had your shop for how long?
Like, oh my God, like 13 years.
13 years.
13 years. Yeah.
Little backstory.
Yeah.
Q has a barbershop where he cuts hair, and he cuts it not because he has to, but because it's therapeutic.
It is.
Right?
It is.
Me and Q met because I had a club across the street.
That's true.
Right? But he had his barbershop a couple of years before I had my club. I had my club across the street, and we were neighbors, and we just gelled well.
Agreed.
From business owner to one business owner.
It just so happens that my sign and her sign are very compatible. I don't believe in horoscopes extremely, but to a degree I do, because certain signs do intertwine a little better. Like she's clearly a Scorpio.
Clearly.
And I'm clearly a Taurus. And I do believe that we have a lot of compatibleness as far as what they say on the horoscope, as far as understanding each other. Mm-hmm. So that's why I knew it could work. And then, like she said, the other day we got a test run in the barbershop. One of the guys, man, he was like very, 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 very male chauvinistic. And she caught it. And I said to her, I was like, I wasn't standing with him. And he wanted me to stand with him, but I was like, you sound like a male chauvinistic pig. He did. And he wanted like women to
He wanted you to co-sign everything.
Yeah, and I was like,
and
nah.
I said, let me see. Okay. But then, I didn't even though what he was talking about, we have to make that a topic too. But, he was talking about the modern day woman. He was talking about a small percentage of women. He was going in on maybe 5-10% of women.
Yeah.
And you can't put a blanket over all women because, you just can't do that. But he was just going in on that, on everybody, saying that, women, they expect their first date to be courtside, and they expect, you to pay all of this money, go to Roof Chris and stuff like that. Suppose I don't like you. I think he was trying to say, can we go half and half?
That's what I got from it.
At some point.
But you know what I do believe, and I'm going to say this on record, and most men in today's society, when they do those kind of expenses, they tend to have something they expecting in return. I'm going to be honest. We going to just call it what it is. Me, am I like that? No. But I also know where my finances can go. But if a guy who doesn't make the significant amount of money and who wants to do certain things, he definitely he expects something in return. And usually the counter payoff is sex. We're going to call it what it is. And that's how a lot of men do think. Do I think like that? No. But do a lot of men think like that? Yes. Do you agree with that?
Listen. The payoff shouldn't be sex. It has to be compatibility. It has to be whether you're, are you dating with a purpose? Are you dating just to hook up? I mean, this hookup culture is real, but everybody is not with the hookup culture. You know what I'm saying? So let's just get to it. You're dating to get to know someone. You're taking out on a first date. That's why they call it a first date.
I agree.
You get to know my views, what kind of woman I am, if I'm for you or not. Now, whether you could afford to take me to Roof Chris or Applebee's is up to you.
Agreed. You know the one thing I can't get jiggy with a lot of men for, and I'm going to say this. I can't get jiggy with the fact that they don't give the woman the option. And when I say the option, it's like, just be honest. So for instance, if I know that all I'm looking for is intimacy, just be honest. You have some women that have played the game just like you. And what I don't like is the way a lot of men misrepresent their real agenda. And I'm like, that's right. That's what I don't like.
Just be real.
Just be real. And I'm like, if you know that you're coming for this, just be straight up. Or just say, I just want to get to know you and see where it goes.
That's right. Or go on one of the dating websites, Tinder, what is it? Go Fish? What is it?
Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish. Mm-hmm. A lot of those websites, they do believe in the hookup culture.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Stay on that.
For those who are on that, I applaud you. If that's what you're into.
Right.
But for those who are looking for marriage, they should have a right to know who they're being courted by. I don't want to be courted by, what do they call it, the representative.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
You send your representative first.
Yeah, but I'm like, I want to know who I'm talking to. If you don't believe in this and this is my morals, don't compromise it.
That's so funny because Plenty of Fish. My friend, one of my close friends, she was on it a couple of years ago, and I had no idea. You know, that's when I had the bar. I was busy, and it was all about the bar. So I was like, she was like, I'm on Plenty of Fish, and I was like, oh, what is that? She was like, ma'am, you don't want to know about this. You don't want to know, ma'am, just stay in your lane. And I was like, what? And then I had to really Google it. And I was like, people are really doing that. But, some women are green, to a lot of things. And you have to just be, open, honesty, communicate. And that's what that first date is for. If she's going to get a second date, give her a second date.
Here's my question, though. Do you think that, and I'm asking this for the ladies, I want them to see where her mind is as far as this understanding of this. And this is all opinion. Other people could feel otherwise, but again, this is our opinion. But do you think that a lot of women have built up this wall or this exterior of I don't need a man, or whatever a man I can do? If a man can sleep around, I can sleep around. Do you believe that's become a defense mechanism, so they're defending their feelings so they don't get hurt anymore?
Yes. I mean, a lot of women do have that mentality nowadays. A lot of them say the female is the new guy, you know what I want to say, because they feel like a lot of the times I'm going to get you before you get me, because I know it's inevitable you're going to cheat on me. So let me have my backup plan before you even get me, But every woman does not think like that.
Agreed.
Every woman does not think like that, but a lot of women, they do think like that, because a lot of men have made it bad for other men,
I could agree with that.
And then once you get a good man, some women, just by thinking that, right, and they have a good man, they might do it anyway to the wrong guy. He wasn't even going to cheat on you.
No, he wasn't.
That's everything that you need in your life, And now you done did that to him, and look, now you might break up. He might dump you over that, because men don't forgive very well.
No, we don't, because it's weird, because my mother always said, do unto others as you want done unto you.
Yeah.
And she embedded that in my mind to the point where I try my best not to do anything to anyone that I don't want done to me. So every relationship I built, I usually started at a very high point, because this is the respect I expect to get back in return. So, but I do notice that a lot of men, we tend to not realize that if I do this to you, but I don't want you doing this to me, it's kind of a contradiction. Some men, man, they sleep around like dogs, and if a woman do it back to them, they can't take it, man.
Yeah, they can't. They can't. They're fragile. A man, it's like they can't accept the double standard part of it.
I agree.
But this 2022, women are giving you that. They're giving you that. They're coming hard. I mean, women are doing as much, if not more, than men nowadays.
They're leveling up crazy.
They're leveling up very crazy. And, that's another topic, but another reason why.
Let me give my women an applause.
Yeah, sure.
Let me give my women an applause. I do give y'all the utmost respect, because I'm astonished that, I'm seeing single mothers leveling up with no
opening
dad,
businesses,
giving no economics, opening businesses. I just seen a picture of a woman just opening up a Subway by herself, and she has 2 children.
Nice.
And I'm like, this is amazing. I tip my hat to a lot of women, and I said a statement the other day about men being the head, and men, we have to understand, we just being honest. In order to have a woman submit to you, you got to give a reason to submit. A woman won't submit to somebody that she feels that she can lead better than he can lead her. It's weird. Why would I if I know I'm a better basketball player than you, why am I giving you the last shot when I know I shoot better than you?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But when you talk to a lot of men, like you said, their pride, their ego, everything is fragile. So they don't want to hear these truths. And sometimes the way I talk, they be like, oh, you just on the woman's side. I'm like, it's not a side thing. It's a wrong and right thing.
Right.
And that's the new stance. In this show, we pushing more wrong. We try to eliminate the wrongs rather, and keep pushing the rights.
Right.
So people know what's the realities. A lot of people don't want to hear it, but it's the truth.
But it's ultimately just being real and candid about things, and just, being rational and being able to reason, because sometimes people need that voice of reason.
I'm gonna ask you a question because I know I got some men on here that's curious. What is your ideal man? What is a man to you? We're not gonna go into too depth, but we're gonna say it a little, touch on it a little bit. Y'all can ask some questions too.
You probably already asked me questions, but you
It
know,
is.
looking.
So I'm gonna come back to y'all in a minute. I just want her to answer this, and then I'm gonna come back to y'all. What is a man? What looks like to you? To you, I'm asking you.
Oh, me? I thought
Yeah.
you was asking them. I was like, how they
No.
gonna answer?
Go ahead.
So a man is someone to you and me that he handles his business. He knows he doesn't have to be well off. He doesn't have to be rich, anything like that, but he knows his value. He takes care of his responsibilities. He's motivated and he always wants to meet you, a woman, either halfway, if not more. Let's say he's getting on his feet. He has some type of agenda for you, especially I think I respect the man when he's dating, when he has an agenda for the woman and he lets her know, listen, I want to take it to the next level with you, or listen, I just want to date around. A man that's honest, a man that could be about his word, whether it's relationships, whether it's just a coworker.
Agreed.
A man is a man is a man. But, let's say, for instance, your coworker, you'll have some men that just lie like a rug, on a job. And you're like, oh gosh, here's Harry. I know he's not even gonna, he's not gonna do it. I do like gentlemen. That's part of,
Being courted.
That's part of what women like. They like gentlemen. Even like I said, if we touching on relationship, the part of that, or a coworker, men that holds the door, men that, might just say, here, I just bought you a coffee this morning, because how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Agreed.
So you need to keep the bar up here as a man, just like women, they'll keep the bar a certain, well, we didn't ask that question yet, but men, I think you should just, learn to always evolve, always be learning. And as a man, because some men were never taught.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to learn around other men. They have to learn around, sometimes they learn from women.
I learned from a woman.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. The women can be the best teachers.
For me, learning how to be a man was I saw my mom being a single mother, and I said, who would I want my mother to be married to? So I worked on myself becoming that man that I would want my mother to have.
That's a good point.
And now for my daughters, I think the same way. I want them to see like, yo, dad is a good man. And when I say man, and guys, I want you to understand this, there's no such thing as perfection. We're going to go on record and say that.
No.
People make mistakes. People make poor choices.
Nobody's perfect.
But like she said, the integrity has to be there where you like, yo, this guy he's an advocate for trying to become better.
Which is basic morals.
Yes.
Basic morals. Everyone should have them.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
So we're gonna take some questions from y'all. So we're gonna take 3 questions from y'all. First questions come up, we answering them. So let's see what questions y'all got. Okay. Okay. Healthy childhood environment, learning comes from both the mom and dad. Agreed. Give me a question, guys. I agree with that 100%. See a question. Somebody's coming with a question right now. Somebody write.
Can you see over there?
Somebody writing something deep. But for me as a man, I definitely I'm working on being consistent.
Consistency.
Being consistent. All right.
Okay.
How do you know the man is right for you since they tend to change? That's a question. Who you want to answer that? I think I'm gonna let her answer it first, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think. So the first question is, how do you know a man is for you when they tend to change? Okay.
How do you know a man is right for you when they tend to change? See, that's a little
vague.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, do they tend to change in a good way or a bad way? I need a little clarification.
I'm assuming she's saying bad.
Okay.
I'm gonna go off the assumption she's saying in a bad way.
Well, you don't want somebody that goes with that word consistency. You don't want someone that keeps flip-flopping and being, flip-flop culture because, that's never a good thing. You want a man that's consistent with his behavior, and you want, especially towards you.
Agreed.
Because you don't want somebody to think that they can keep playing games with you.
Agreed.
Yeah. So you never want that. So let's not even entertain, keep that going for too long, because once they show that inconsistency, maybe it's time to move on.
It is. For me, answering that same question, I feel like we live in a society today where it's microwave. People rush the relationship so fast that they really never get to know who they're dating. So when you have a woman that be like, oh my God, he doesn't even want to work. I'm like, when did you see that? But you probably moved so fast that you didn't see that he had poor work ethic.
Right.
It's certain things you gotta give it time, because a person can only hide their hand but so long. So, for me, I would give it time and let a person eventually expose their hand. But the problem is we rush the process. We don't trust the process. I don't care if you got to date somebody for 2 years. At the end of the day, that dating is allowing you to get to know that person.
Right.
Especially, what's weird, and I would say this to you, Mars.
Mm-hmm.
I find it crazy that a person will have a child with someone, which is an 18 to 21 year commitment, but yet and still won't get married. And for men, and I'm just going to say this, in America, it's favorable for a woman to have a child by a man, because he is more prone to be on child support. He is more prone to everything. So, I'm only speaking from my experience.
And it could be just perks for her.
Yes. And, I have a son, and I don't want to go too crazy into details, but, the more I tried to help, the more she only cared about economics. Right. So it was kind of like I became a paycheck opposed to a father. And
right.
She didn't really care about the relationship. She only cared about the economics. And I'm seeing that prominent too. Just so you know, some of these women in today's society don't have bad child fathers or ex-husbands or ex-boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the women are not allowing them to be good fathers.
I agree. And
because
that's what I don't agree with. I don't agree with that behavior.
Too. So I'm not dissing. Not every man is just a bad father. He might have been a bad husband. He might have been a bad boyfriend, but he could be a decent father if you allow him.
Still let him play that role.
Yes.
He should still have that, because you and him might not ever get along.
Agreed.
But let him play that role
Agreed.
in a child's life.
We're going to take another question, guys. So I'm waiting for the next question. How long can you support a man when he's down before you walk away? I guess it says something like that. How long would you support a man? So what would be your time limit on supporting a man while he's down?
Well, I would say, there's really no limit. I mean, as long as because success, there's no overnight success.
Agreed.
And if he's pushing, and it takes him 5 years, you don't want to give up on him on the first 6 months saying that he's a loser, because there's no overnight success. If he's really diligent on what he's doing and working on his project and, get under the right mentors, having the right courses that he's taking, still elevating himself year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Who are you to quit on him? As long as he's still pushing. As long as he pushes. Because that's what the word push means. Push until, what is it? Push until successful something. Look it up. Look, I'll be back with that one. But it's like you just keep pushing until you're successful.
Agreed.
So now, if this particular man is, let's say he has a project that he's working on, or he's just talking, and he really doesn't have any action behind it, then you may give up on him easier.
Agreed. Agreed.
But let's say he has aspirations to be, let's not say a doctor, because that's a 4-year degree. Let's say he's an entrepreneur, right? And he has the kind of situation where it takes him to fail. You don't want to give up on that man, because in year 5, when he's with the next woman and he's 7 figures up, you're going to be like, damn, I gave up too soon.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
You know where that goes back to though? When going through that process with your man or your mate or your woman, you should be conscious of who you're getting your advice from. Because I watched a movie called Acrimony. I think it's Acrimony by Tyler Perry. And
I
the
didn't
woman,
see that. I was supposed to see it.
yeah, she gave up too soon. Like he had a idea of a battery, and he knew his idea was to create this battery, but she gave up too soon.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And he's still such a gentleman. He bought her house back.
Yep.
He gave her money. He gave her 7 figures. You know, because he was like, you stuck by me, but you just gave up.
But you're not his girl
you're
now.
not my mate.
And he's not your man now.
Yeah.
But, that's why some people, you just have to see the vision. You have to see the vision. But everybody don't. They have sight, but no vision.
Agreed.
And sometimes you won't have that man's vision. But sometimes if you just communicate with him, you can start, being able to like empathize and see what he's going through.
I agree.
I
agree.
But, he can't, sometimes he won't even be able to explain his whole vision to you. Yeah. Especially, let's say, for instance, you work a 9 to 5,
Especially when he's tweaking everything. And he doesn't really know what it is he's doing yet, but he knows he wants to do something.
Yes. Yes. So and that's the life of an entrepreneur a lot of the times.
It is.
So you have to be careful, who gels well. We're
going to take one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Give me one more question, guys. What should you do? What should you do in a marriage if personal growth is not matching, but the love is there? So basically, like they say,
that's a good one.
That's a nice one.
I love that. I love that.
So fast. That was actually really good. So what do you do if they say basically if the personal growth is not there, but the love is there? So like you're elevating, but the other person is not elevating. What would you say?
You want me to touch on that first? Okay. So my thing is, you can always just I don't think you should ever give up on your mate. And I think that you should start by like giving him one book, or giving him one audio, because everybody needs that chapter of self-development in their life. I don't care if you're 20 or 40. Mm-hmm. You need that chapter of self-development mindset. And if that person that you're with, sometimes they think they know everything. Sometimes they think, oh, what? Manifestation? Oh, let me think positive. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Sometimes they make fun of you.
Yeah.
But I think you should just keep on trying and pushing them to get it. Or maybe, the communication, just have a real candid conversation and just say, you know what? We're going to sit down. This is what I want you to do.
Agreed.
I'm going to read this book with you.
Agreed.
Just get your favorite chapters. Sometimes on YouTube, they have the highlights and just get him, because sometimes these people hear these highlights and certain things, stuff they never heard before, and it sparks the fire for them.
I agree. For me, what I would say is, if the person is not growing with you, for me, I personally think that person should be your biggest fan and supporting your ideas and your beliefs. So if a person is not pushing your idea, they're not trying to support your beliefs, they're not standing behind you, whether economically, whether with manual labor, because sometimes people don't have visions. They don't have dreams. So they don't really dream anymore. So it's like, if I don't stand behind my woman's dream, then am I really being supportive? So for me, I would definitely look at it like I got to support her from a mental and a physical standpoint, as well as the other way,
But you know what? We're going to wrap this up, because this was, just a little touch on some of the topics that we are going to be discussing. And you guys, we want you to give us some feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
tell us what you like.
Comment, share it. Until next time, do us a favor.
Don't let that go over your head.